Hello guys, welcome to a new episode. So last time we got to this point where we have a system to select the card, and every time we do that it gives the card a unique number, and when nothing is selected or if the selection is incomplete it gives us this red bar which tells us that it is incomplete. Now in this episode I would like to address a problem where if you have the same card selected more than once. But to do this, I'm going to have to, well, I don't have to, but I would like to have all the possible cards that we're going to have to encounter out on the table so we can see them. So right now we only have hand 1 and hand 2. Now, while we're addressing this issue, as you can see here, we have 2 of these, right? And I'm not going to do this every single time. The logical first way of doing this would be to use a sub VI, but in my case I'm not gonna do that, especially not yet, and I will show you guys why in a bit, because I'm gonna go ahead and do some editing to how the system works. So here's what I'm gonna do. First I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get my hand 1, hand 2 and start doing the other cards, and I will get back to you guys when that is done. So this would be flop 1, this would be flop 2, and then we're gonna have to do flop 3 and then do the turns and then so on and so forth. Let me get this, move it out of the way. Oh, let's get this and this, move them out of the way. Make sure that this is 1, yes, call this flop card 1, rearrange this to center, call this flop card 2, rearrange this to center, and I will do this for all the rest and get back to you guys. See you in a bit. So here we are, guys. We have the 3 flops, the turn and the river, and here they are here. As you can see, there's no way that all of these have 6 of hearts. In the unlikely event, if we're gonna include possibilities of having 2 decks, then maybe 2 of those can exist, but no more than that, I'm pretty sure. But for the record, we're gonna do only 1 deck for now, see how that goes, and maybe upgrade to get multiple decks into the system. So now looking here, I obviously do not want to do this step for every single one of these. So what I would like to do is basically build an array out of all these numbers, put them into this array, and have that array go through a for loop that does this for all of them, and then the output can then output to the to the values for each one. So basically, first thing, I'm going to connect all of these. There we go. Now they are connected, and this looks kind of horrible if you ask me. I will work on making this look better, and let's see what we'll do after that. And there we go. We now have a full array with all 7 cards, the hands, the flops, the turn and the river. And now we create a for loop around this system up here, where the input will be obviously our array of numbers, and the output is going to give us 2 arrays. First array will have to update all of those, so we're going to have to create the same exact system again by doing a variable for each one of these. The faster way to do this would be to get a empty variable. Not sure where they are. They are somewhere here, I believe. No. Dialog. No. Where is this? Inside one of these should be a thing that has the variable. Can't seem to find it. I'm gonna search for it. Variable, and hopefully I'll remember where it is. local variable data communication. Oh, it's under data communication. So there we go. Here's our local variable for hand this one, and then multiply that many times. So hand 2, flop 1, flop 2, flop 3. Oh. So we select all of them. I'm going to align them together, get them closer together. And I know I'm doing this randomly, and you will see why, because now I can select them all, do spacing, horizontal spacing. If I want a little more spacing, I can just move that down and redo the same thing. There we go. Now, what we'll need to do is get an array. We're gonna index this array, and we're gonna index it once for each one of these and have a system very similar to the one right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So there we go. Now this will output the exact on-off values to all of those, and now we have an array which should give us all the values of all the seven cards. So running this continuously, they're all 306s in this case, but there, let's change up some of them so that we have some variety in here. So there we go. So now we have all those, yet we still have 306s in 3 different places. And that is the issue that we're gonna address next. So we have this updating for all of them. We're gonna have to fix this up a lot in the future to accommodate for resetting and accommodate for part by part system. So the system basically, you start off with the hand, it gives you your odds, then you add the flop, gives you your odds, then you add the turn, gives you those odds, and then you finally throw in the river, and you're ready to win, hopefully. Alright, so I'm gonna just compress this and add some more space and get back to you guys. Alright, so the other thing that I would like to do, because I'm 100% sure that this is gonna get complicated later on, is I'm gonna actually put some stacked systems in here, and basically the reason I would do this is so that I have a way of seeing what is what. So it's a kind of fancy way of doing sorry about that, guys. It's a fancy way of doing sub-VIs. That's at least what I am calling it. So right now I know that this right here is basically the card inputs. So this is card inputs. This block is entirely dedicated to card inputs. This block right here will be dedicated to card outputs. There we go. There we go. And this is going to be the card outputs. Now I could do these up here, I could do many other things, I just like to do it this way. And there we go. Now this first block right here that we just did, this is gonna be, sadly it is inside a for loop, so I cannot really change anything about that. But once I fix this, now what should I call this? I'd like to probably throw in a few words about what it does. So this basically so what this does is it essentially this essentially, alright, let me think about this, I'm not sure what to write. So there we go. So now basically we have our card inputs right here, right? And then what we do is check if cards fully defined or not. I don't think I need to put numbers. It's pretty, there's no need to do that. So basically that's what this output does. successfully defined or not, then we need to update it later. Convert card selection to a unique number, and this is an array with the unique number that identifies these 7 cards. Now we know the first 2 are the hand, 3 is flop, turn, and river, and this will come in handy later on. Now another thing later on we're going to have to do is these card outputs, there's going to have to be a manipulation step between them that would basically create a reset system. So essentially later we're going to be able to reset the entire system, start with only the hands where everything else is zeroed, and then click next, go to the flop, get those cards, click next, get the turn, click next, get the river. Now every time you click next, there's going to have to be a system to protect the cards before so that you cannot alter them anymore. We will probably input this system later on. The last thing I think we need to do here is to start the actual error checking system that I had discussed earlier. We know that this system works, but this only resets those 2. So we can actually input this reset system into somewhere in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna remove sequence. Yes, there we go. Now basically all we need is this. We don't need any of these. We will need a true or false case. So, and this button will be called, I'm gonna call it the hard reset button. I'm gonna put it as an icon for now, and basically if the hard reset is true, we just output this. Otherwise, so instead of that, it's just a simple decision maker where if it is true, please, oh no, if it is true, it will output this here, which is the reset codes, if you will. And if it is false, it will just basically keep everything the way it was. And let's run this through. There we go. Why is this not working? This is not working because this needs to be in array format, not the way we have it right here. So in array format, that means we're gonna have to get an array. We could do array constant, or we could initialize an array. I'm gonna initialize the array because I think it's a safer way of doing this. And dimension size, we only have 7 of those. So if I take all this all the way back, put this here, there we go. Let's go ahead and test it. So now when the system is running, I just hard reset, everything resets. I'm gonna change the mechanical action of this to a normal button. I would like to get a reset, a nicer reset button. There we go. Yes, I'm gonna call this reset. And no need for the label, get rid of that. Give this some nice size so I can always work with it. This is going to be my reset button right here. I'm gonna go ahead and fix this, put it in a block, and get back to you guys. So here we are, guys. I put the reset into one of these small blocks. So now I have all these big, humongous blocks that hopefully are easy to understand. So this is a very simple, straightforward system, if you ask me. You know exactly what's going on every step of the way by understanding how these blocks work. So basically we start with the inputs. Here we're checking if it's defined or not. We're converting it if we need. We're converting it into a number. And now we have an array of all the numbers here. If we need to reset all of them, this is the one that details that, and then it outputs all the card data to show what's going on. I can obviously show you everything that's happening here. This is the subsystem, how everything's occurring, and I'm just gonna hide these. So there we go. So now we have this array, and then we can, hopefully next time we'll do what I wanted to do this time, which is to basically get an error system. So let's go ahead and run it, and just to do a test. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, and then just anything for now. There we go. We have all these set, everything works, it's beautiful, very intuitive, very straightforward. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.